The wolf snaps, not at flesh, at destiny. Chains scream as they tighten, screaming like something alive being strangled. The earth beneath Asgard fractures. Stone splits. Gods stumble. Fenrir thrashes. His fur is matted with frost and blood. His eyes burn like dying stars. This is not an animal. This is an ending with teeth. The gods surround him in a circle that feels less like authority and more like fear pretending to be order. Odin watches with his one good eye, calculating futures he already knows will fail. Thor grips Mjolnir too tightly, knuckles white, breath sharp. Loki smiles, but it's a thin smile, the kind that knows this moment will rot. Then Tyr steps forward, no armor, no weapon, no protection except a promise. He raises his hand. Fenrir pauses. The wolf knows. He smells lies in gods the way prey smells fire. He growls low, suspicious, ancient. Place your hand in my mouth, Fenrir says, and I will let you bind me. The gods freeze. This isn't a challenge, it's a test, and Tyr accepts. The jaws close. Bone shatters like dry wood. Blood pours onto the sacred stone floor, steaming in the cold air. The sound is wet. Final, unmistakable. Tyr does not pull away. He screams, but he stands. The chain holds. The wolf howls. The gods cheer. This should have crowned Tyr as the greatest hero of Norse myth. Instead, it buried him. This is the paradox. The god who sacrificed the most was the god mythology chose to forget.
Unveil the legends.
Before the scream, before the blood, before the lie, the gods lived with a prophecy lodged in their throats like a splinter. Ragnarök was coming, not someday, not metaphorically. It had names, faces, teeth, and Fenrir was one of them. Born of Loki and a giantess, the wolf was raised among the gods like a controlled experiment, a mistake they pretended they could manage. But Fenrir grew, too fast, too strong, too aware. Every day he watched the gods watch him. Every laugh in Asgard sounded rehearsed. Every meal tasted like surveillance. Odin told himself this was wisdom, studying the threat, preparing, but it was fear. Thor wanted to kill the wolf outright. Simple, clean, hammer solves everything. Loki argued for patience. He always did. Chaos liked to wait. And Tyr? Tyr alone sat with Fenrir, not as a jailer, as a companion. He fed him, spoke to him, taught him the rules of the gods, the meaning of oaths, the idea that strength could coexist with restraint. Tyr was different. He wasn't drunk on power. He wasn't obsessed with prophecy. He believed law mattered even when it hurt, especially when it hurt. That belief put him at odds with Asgard itself, because law limits kings, and the gods were kings desperate to stay that way. Peace was never an option, only delay. They tried force first, massive iron chains forged by gods who feared admitting they were afraid. They wrapped Fenrir in metal thick as tree trunks. He snapped them. They tried again, stronger, heavier, magic infused. He shattered those too. Each failure humiliated the gods. Each broken chain fed the wolf's confidence. Fenrir laughed, a deep, echoing sound that vibrated through bone and sky. This wasn't just rebellion. It was prophecy stretching its limbs. So Odin turned to deception. He went to the dwarves, the master smiths, the ones who knew how to cheat reality. Make something impossible, Odin said. And they did. A ribbon woven from things that do not exist. A cat's footstep, a woman's beard, a mountain's root. Gleipnir. Light, soft, beautiful. A lie disguised as silk. When they brought it to Fenrir, he knew. This time the wolf did not laugh. You think I'm a fool, Fenrir growled. If this chain is harmless, why are you afraid? Number. God answered. Except Tyr. Fenrir proposed a bargain, a hand in his mouth. A guarantee. Thor refused. Odin hesitated. Tyr stepped forward. He didn't argue. He didn't plead. He simply placed his hand between the wolf's teeth, because someone had to make the lie believable, because law demands a cost. When Gleipnir tightened and Fenrir realized the truth, the betrayal hit harder than the chain. Rage flooded him. His jaws snapped shut. Pain exploded. The sound of bone breaking echoed through Asgard. Tyr staggered, but he didn't fall. Blood ran down his arm, dripping onto the ground like spilled testimony. The wolf was bound. The gods celebrated, and Tyr was never the same again. Here's the detail most retellings glide past. After the binding, Tyr disappears. Not literally. He still exists in the margins, but his gravity vanishes. His voice fades. The god who once embodied justice becomes a silhouette. That doesn't happen by accident. In the earliest layers of Norse myth, Tyr wasn't a side character. He wasn't a minor war god with a missing hand. He was Tyr Was, a sky god, a judge, a figure whose authority predated Odin's rise. Then the stories change. Suddenly Odin is king. Suddenly wisdom comes from sacrifice of others, not self. Suddenly violence becomes heroic when it's loud. And Tyr becomes inconvenient. Because Tyr exposes the lie at the heart of Asgard, that the gods didn't bind Fenrir to save the world. They bound him to delay their own deaths. That wasn't justice. It was self-preservation dressed as order. Tyr knew this. And worse, Fenrir knew Tyr knew. That's the true reason Fenrir accepted the bargain. Not because he trusted the gods, because he trusted Tyr. Which means Tyr didn't just lose a hand. He became proof. Proof that the gods lied. Proof that prophecy didn't force their actions, fear did. And fear hates witnesses. So Tyr's role shrinks. His myths thin out. His presence becomes symbolic instead of central. Not because he failed, because he succeeded too well. Time moved forward. It always does. The chains hold for a while. Fenrir thrashes against Gleipnir until the earth itself is scarred. Rivers form from his saliva. Mountains crack from his rage. The wolf does not forget, and the gods? They pretend the problem is solved. Odin gathers warriors. Thor hunts giants, Loki schemes. Asgard distracts itself with glory and violence and song. But the prophecy remains unchanged. Ragnarök comes. The wolf breaks free. The irony is brutal. Odin, the god who orchestrated the binding, faces Fenrir in the final battle. He charges forward with spear raised, courage burning too late. Fenrir swallows him whole, not metaphorically, literally. The wolf kills the All-Father exactly as foretold, and Tyr meets his end fighting Garm, the hound of hell. Two creatures bound by chains. Two victims of gods who believed control was the same as justice. They kill each other. No songs. No triumph, just symmetry. This is the cruel truth. Tyr's sacrifice did nothing to stop the end, but it revealed something far more dangerous. That gods are not destroyed by monsters. They are destroyed by their own compromises. Tyr didn't fail because he lost his hand. He failed because the world he tried to protect was already corrupt. There's a reason Tyr feels distant. A reason his name doesn't echo like Odin's or thunder like Thor's. Because his story is uncomfortable. Tyr proves that morality without power is fragile. That sacrifice doesn't guarantee remembrance. That sometimes the bravest act isn't killing a monster. It's keeping a promise when everyone else breaks theirs. So here's the question. If Tyr had refused, if he had let the gods face Fenrir without deception, would Ragnarök have come sooner, or would it have been avoided entirely? Drop your answer below. And if you think Tyr was the last truly honest god, wait until you hear about the one who survived Ragnarök and rebuilt the world in silence. Because his survival wasn't heroic, it was calculated. And his story is darker than the end itself.